And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Washington Redskins football team commanders episode. Whichever one you pick to call them is fine, but I guarantee you that I say Redskins multiple times during this episode. And that being said, we were supposed to have a guest today. Aaron was supposed to be here, our resident Redskins fan. Something came up. He was not able to come, so we're sorry, Aaron. Hopefully you can get in on another episode in the future. But we will go ahead and do the Redskins without him and do our best and hopefully not, piss off any Redskins fans out there and, have another Jiminator situation. All right. Well, we'll just kick it off from here. Drew, who is your number 4 Redskins Mount Rushmore?
My number 4 is London Fletcher.
Ooh. I like London Fletcher, and I remember watching him play, actually, unlike some of these guys we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. He was really good.
I remember watching him play for the Rams.
Yeah. He only played 7 years in Washington, but he was a 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He also has a Super Bowl with the Rams. But he has 2,039 combo tackles. It's only 20 less than Ray Lewis. He has 1,384 solo tackles, which is only 200 less than Ray Lewis. It's 23 interceptions, 19 forced fumbles, and 39 sacks. He played with Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Zach Thomas. We kind of talked about with Urlacher and Ray Lewis, they were getting the all-pro teams. And then these two were fighting with other ones to get the second one. So I think he got overshadowed a little bit by the middle linebackers while he played. But his totals and stuff are still right up there with all of them. So I thought he was a good number 4 pick for Washington.
He went 14 straight seasons with more than 110 tackles.
Yeah. I kind of remember him and Zach Thomas being very similar. Just
tackling machines.
Yeah, pretty much. They just dominated the middle of the field.
Yeah, and those 2 All-Pros are both second teams. He doesn't even have a first one, which I think was kind of crazy.
Has he been kept out of the Hall of Fame, or did he get in?
Yeah, he hasn't. I don't think he's in either.
He's not.
Really? Interesting.
He retired in 2013, so I don't know how many years he's been eligible for a couple now.
I'll say it should be quite a while.
Hey, but Zach Thomas isn't in, and Zach Thomas is a bigger name than London Fletcher.
Yeah.
So, by the way, somebody tweeted out that clip in The Waterboy when Cower and Jimmy Johnson are sitting in the stands watching a game, and they're trying to figure out who he plays like, the Waterboy plays like, and Jimmy Johnson's like, really reminds me of Zach Thomas. Well, somebody tweeted that clip out of the movie the other day, and Jimmy Johnson replied to it and was like, it's a sham that Zach Thomas isn't in the Hall of Fame. So,
yeah, I think they both should be in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where that puts him on the all-time tackles list, but we haven't talked about too many guys with 2,000 tackles.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
You said he's second, right? He's second all-time in tackles.
Yeah, he's second all-time.
Oh, second all-time. Okay,
Yeah.
I heard you say he was
Ray
behind.
Lewis is number 1.
Yeah, Ray, and he's only 20 tackles behind Ray. It's not like Ray's way ahead of him.
Yeah. I think I saw that because I asked a question about solo tackles last week, and he was like 2 or 3 in solo tackles too.
Yeah.
So
16 years in the league. How many years did we say Lewis played? Do we remember?
Like 17 or 18.
Okay.
Lewis played a long time. Yeah. I mean that's a guess. I don't 100% remember.
Here's the crazy thing: he played 16 years in the league, but he only made the playoffs 5 times.
That sucks.
A bunch of them probably with the Rams.
He made 3 with the Rams and 2 with Washington.
Well, Washington really hasn't been overly successful in
I've been alive.
the 2000s.
Yeah, it's been a while.
In all reality, like they've had a few good seasons sprinkled in there, or decent seasons, but
they've never made an NFC Championship game, I don't think, in a while.
I mean, probably your whole lifetime, I can't remember a really good Washington team.
No. They've made the playoffs a couple times, but they haven't been.
Yeah. Like RG3's rookie year, they did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins got them to decent records. Nothing, anything close to anything special. They were okay.
Alex Smith got him that one year.
Yeah.
Other than that, they haven't been special.
No, I mean, the last time they were special was like the year Wade was born.
Yeah.
I mean, they won the Super Bowl in like, what, 91 or 92?
Yeah.
Because they beat the Bills.
They beat the Bills.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. Oh. Well, nobody else had London Fletcher, by the way?
No.
No.
No, I didn't either. All right. Well, we've got our first guy. So we'll just move right around to Wade. Wade, who's your number 4?
I had John Riggins at number 4.
Oh, well, I have John Riggins at number 2.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I went back and forth with Riggins, but he didn't quite make my list.
Yeah, he didn't make my list.
I got John Riggins at number 1.
Woo!
Oh. Well, I mean, Riggins is...
Yeah.
He's pretty popular with Washington fans.
I will say this. When I think of the Redskins franchise, John Riggins is the player I think of in my head. Like, I don't know anybody that I put on the popularity of him.
I agree. He's just cool as fuck.
Yeah.
He showed up with mohawks, the Monopoly Man mustache. He was an honorary hog. He got to go drink with the hogs in the shed during training camp. He was the only one allowed in there with the hogs, and they would go in the shed and drink and do whatever the fuck they wanted. No one else was allowed in except John Riggins and the hogs. And he was just cool. He owned like this ranch out in the middle of nowhere and randomly go hunting. And that year he took off during his career in like 1980 or 79 or something like that. He took off because of a contract dispute. And the Hall of Fame coach, Gibbs. Joe Gibbs?
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs came out there to try and talk to him and wanted him to come back. And Joe Gibbs was trying to get him to come back so he could trade him. And John Riggins, after they got this talk and they were making some progress, and apparently Riggins turned to Gibbs and said, "Hey, why don't you just bring me back? Because I'll make you famous if you bring me back." And then Gibbs was like, "Oh, I thought that guy was a prick, but I was going to let him come back because I needed to trade him." Well, he came back, but in his contract he put a no-trade clause, so I was stuck with him. And then he went on and had maybe the greatest postseason run by a running back in NFL history. He gained over 600 yards in one playoff run. Averaged like 152 yards per game in the playoff run.
152 and a half. Yep.
That's fucking nuts.
That's insane.
That is.
152 yards per game or something like that.
Yep.
And they rode him all the way to the Super Bowl that year. And
well, if he's going to get you 150 yards on the ground,
Yeah.
you better be feeding him
And
the ball.
he's also Super Bowl MVP.
yeah, and
Right,
he
yeah.
made Joe Gibbs famous.
That's what he said.
And he did so he's awesome. You should look at the pictures, and he shows up with a mohawk one time and
He's
the
got-
curly mustache.
Then he's got the
and-
big old afro, the one.
yeah, he has a curly fro and one.
Yeah.
Like, he's just awesome. He's cool.
And if the hogs let you come, be
He's an
with him.
honorary hog. Yeah, that's what they said.
In 1983, he rushed for 24 touchdowns.
I believe that was the record at the time. Like, just
It
for
could
rushing
be.
touchdowns. I believe.
Yeah, I know it's not anymore.
Yeah.
But because I think LaDainian Tomlinson has it. But it might have been the record at the time. I mean, 24 is a lot.
It gets so tricky with touchdown stuff with running backs because sometimes it's total touchdowns, sometimes it's just
Mhm.
rushing touchdowns. At the total, most people usually talk about the total touchdown record, so it's receiving and rushing, and it gets all mixed up. I believe he had the record when he got that 24 just rushing touchdowns. I mean, and he ended his career with 11,000 yards and 104 touchdowns rushing. So I mean, he was a bruiser. He ran it up the middle, and he had cool ass nicknames on top of it.
Diesel.
Diesel and Rigo.
Rigo.
Can't beat that. And he had more rushing yards after the age of 30 than before it.
Which is really unusual for a running
That's
back.
Yes.
You don't hear that anymore nowadays.
Well, in all fairness, until he was 26, he played for the Jets. So
Play with Joe Namath.
Here we go. We get the Jet.
Poor Jet fans.
So, did I hear this correctly? Everybody but Uncle Doug had Riggins?
I don't have him.
Oh, you don't have him. Okay.
So we got 3 John Riggins.
All right. Well, Uncle Doug, who's your number 4?
Art Monk.
Oh, he's my number 3.
He's my number 3.
He's my number 2.
He's also my number 2.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, well, Art's on the
Unanimous
list.
Armand.
All right, we got a unanimous one. Yeah, I liked Art Monk. I really liked watching him play. Played in, and I've got him down for 3 Super Bowls.
I couldn't find the third one, though.
Yeah, he must have played for a short while with somebody else or something.
But even when I looked at those playoff things, I couldn't find which one. I don't
But 3 Pro Bowls, a couple All-Pros.
Because
Yeah, when you pull up his playoffs, it says
Yeah.
2 championship runs.
the Jets or the Eagles wouldn't have won in 94 or 95.
No, what the hell?
So I don't know where they're getting the third one from.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll just-
12,000, almost 13,000. Well, 12,700 yards, 940 receptions, 68 TDs, and 13.5 yards per catch.
Yeah, it was really nice career totals.
Oh yeah.
I read he had to wait a while to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, he had to wait till like 2008. to
Yeah,
get
I
in.
saw that. Yeah.
There was kind of a backlog on the receivers for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this is in the same video, if it's correct. This is another guy who, when he retired, was the all-time leader in one of the categories, either yards or receptions, and he apparently still didn't get in for another 13 years. I don't know. I don't know what the holdup was, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, usually guys that put up pretty nice numbers can go either way. But if you put up nice numbers and have Super Bowls, usually you're a shoo-in.
Right.
yeah.
He won a Super Bowl in 83, 88, and 92.
Oh, okay.
Hey, hold on.
83, 88, and 92.
I mean, it doesn't have it on here at 83. I
Wait,
guess.
which year was the replacement year? Would that have anything to do with why it's not popping up?
I think it's 82 was the year they was the shortened season.
Yeah, he only plays 9 games in 82. That could be.
Because remember the one year
It says on here. It says 87 and 91. He won rings.
So right there, his first playoff.
His first playoff. Yeah.
It says he played 3 games. But
It says lost Super Bowl 38-9 to the Raiders.
Huh.
I don't know.
I have no idea. But I have no.
Apparently, we need a Redskins fan.
Yeah.
This is where we need a fan.
Interesting.
Well, I work with a big Redskins fan. I could have brought another fan, but I didn't want to ask him like last second.
Sure.
You know, we just found out Aaron couldn't come, and I was going to be like, "Hey, Barry, how about you run up here and record this episode?"
Yeah, it says they beat the Bills in 92, they beat the Broncos in 88, and they beat the Dolphins in 83.
Maybe it's the 82 season, the 83 playoffs.
Yeah, I bet
Well,
that.
the
Yeah.
Super Bowl would have been in 83 with the 82 season.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's probably what we're looking at, yeah.
So let's go to the 82 Redskins.
And that would have been the year of the.
strike short
That would have been the
season
replacements
where the
year.
replacements got them into the playoffs, and then
And they went on the
and they
win.
went on to win it.
I don't know what's going on, but my computer won't load this page. I'm just spinning.
Try and get Art pulled up.
On the website I'm on, it says he won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's what I have.
82. Yeah, it says they're the 1982 Super Bowl champions on this.
And that does get confusing. You're talking about one season, but then the Super Bowl's in a different year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're talking,
All right, well, my computer is not doing anything, so. But
okay.
it sounds like he's a 3-time Super Bowl champ. We know he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. So,
And we think the third.
It says on here once you go to the 82 season that they won.
Okay.
here we go. It finally just went. Yeah, won Super Bowl 27-17 against the Dolphins.
Okay.
All right.
But why that's not pulling up when we click playoff stats? Don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But he's also a pretty big guy. 6'3", 210.
Yeah, Monk was good size.
All right. Well, Ray, do you have a number 4 left?
I do.
Who's your number 4?
Dexter Manley. Defensive end, couple Super Bowls, 97 sacks in his career. Got a nice, decently solid defensive player at the end of the list, so I threw him on there.
Yeah, you've been really into these defensive linemen here lately, Ray. I'm kind of digging it. You've kind of found your niche.
I do. Yeah, these like secret players that nobody really heard of, and you guys start to doing these Google search, and you're like, oh my god.
Well, he'd really liked your Stanley Steamer guy.
I did. What a name. What a name. Plus, he was every time he caught a ball, it was for like 23 yards per catch. It's fucking nuts.
Well, yeah, Dexter was pretty good pass rusher in the day. He was well known. Now, the stats I had for him had him for 103 sacks.
That's what I got too.
Well, did he play for another team?
Oh, that could be. Yeah, he may have played a year.
He
or so.
played 2 years outside of Washington. He had 1 year in Phoenix and 1 year in Tampa Bay.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Ray always just writes down what they did for that team.
With the Redskins. Yeah,
Yeah.
which that's a good deal. But
In 1982, when they won the Super Bowl, in 4 games, he had 3 sacks. So, of course, we have no tackle numbers for this guy either.
Yeah.
of course not.
Why would we?
And of course, I have to go along with my trademark of he does have 1 defensive touchdown.
All right,
He does,
he scored.
So,
Mm-hmm.
He returned a fumble, 26 yards for a touchdown,
yeah.
and he has 2 interceptions.
Wow.
All right. Well, anything else to add on him there, Ray?
No, I think that just a nice, solid defensive player. That's about it.
All right. So, is that everybody's number 4?
I think so. I think we
Yeah.
made our way all the way around the room.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say your number 4, Alex?
I didn't.
I'm about to say.
My number 4 is Darryl Green.
Oh,
He's my number 1.
he's my number 1.
He's my number 1.
yeah.
He was in my consideration.
Wow.
All right. Go ahead.
He's a corner, 2-time champ, 7-time Pro Bowl. He's got I didn't count first, 2, 3. 3 All-Pro teams. He's on the All-90s team. He's got 54 career interceptions,
1,200 tackles.
1,200
For a
tackles.
cornerback, I thought that was pretty.
It's very
Impressive.
impressive.
And he played his entire career in Washington. He does have a sack. And he has 8 career touchdowns.
Yeah, I believe he has the NFL record for he recorded at least 1 interception in 19 straight seasons,
Yeah, I saw
which
that.
is pretty amazing.
All the way up until his last year, he didn't get one. I think.
Yeah.
Yep. His very last year. he
Good
didn't
part
get-
of his career, he was the fastest man in the NFL.
Yeah, lots of people talk about how
He was just blazing fast.
Yeah, I believe he also returned kicks or punts. Let
He
me
may
look.
have part of the time.
Punts.
He did. He has quite a bit. He doesn't have any touchdowns for his career, but he
Yeah.
has 51 returns.
Got a nice average for punt return yards, 12. So, but yeah, he's one of the first guys I always think of when I think of
Me
Washington.
too, yeah. I always really liked Darryl Green.
I mean, played there for almost 20 years. It's a Hall of Fame defensive back. You know, he was famous for being how fast he was. He was, just a dominant defensive player. And, 1,200 tackles and over 50 interceptions is no joke.
I'll tell you what,
legit stuff.
he has 1,200 tackles at 184 pounds.
Yeah. And even as he got older, he still played corner. A lot of times those guys slide over to safety or something. He played corner because he didn't seem to lose much of that speed even as he aged.
Well, even if he was so fast, even when he lost his step, he was probably just being the same speed as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember people making jokes about like Dion the same way. Dion lost his step. He was just as fast as everybody else now. He just wasn't a lot faster than everybody else.
Well, that's the thing is you talk about guys that lose a step. A lot of times, as you get older, you get a lot more technically sound at anything,
Right,
not just cornerback. But you're losing your athleticism.
Yeah.
So if you were just as fast as everybody and you lose your athleticism and now you're slower than them, you're trying to catch up with being technically sound. But if you're way faster than everybody and now you're just as fast as them but way more technically sound, you might be a better player.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Some cases, maybe.
That's probably why he was able to stay around so long.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. So why? I'm curious why you had him at 4.
Yeah.
Why 4?
I don't know.
And Ray didn't even have him on his list.
Well, Ray's a rascal.
Ray's been doing much better with football.
You started off hot with Mean Joe Green, and then you reeled it back in a little bit. Then,
Yeah.
then Aaron Rodgers happened. And it's all right.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers was as bad as Mean Joe Green.
No, we're talking about the Dalton has been going through all our football episodes since he came on. He listened to him on his way to work. I was like, so what do you think? He goes, I really like it. He goes, I love that when Ray doesn't like someone, he will not put them on. That's my favorite part. You all yelling at Ray to put someone on the list. Like, yeah, it has to happen sometimes. But
No, I think it's gone over much better in football than it did in basketball.
yeah, basketball was. There was so many of those damn things.
Yeah.
We did like 70-some episodes. But
Well, basketball is just like a smaller pool of players, and then you got football that consists like at least 60, 80 at least starting out.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. And just while we're on Redskins defensive backs, we could, shout out, Sean Taylor was a great player that passed away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
it was.
And the all-time great Champ Bailey started his career with the Redskins
Oh, yeah.
before he moved to Denver.
If he would have stayed, in Redskins, he would have definitely made my list. Champ Bailey was
Yeah,
so
he
good
was good.
for a long
he's,
time.
He's an all-time great corner.
Yeah.
He spent like 4 or 5 years there before I went to Denver, I think.
And Sean Taylor was,
Very good.
he was starting to have a great career when
Yeah, he
things
was.
got cut short.
He was a very good safety.
Mm-hmm.
But Darryl Green is obviously a great Hall of Fame defensive back and contributed to most of their all-time great teams. So he's.
Yeah.
I often think of him as one of the most famous Redskins.
All right. Well, that's everybody's number 4. Does anybody have a 3 left?
Yeah.
I don't.
I do.
I do.
I think of who I said.
I
Okay.
do.
I do not have a 3. No.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got, Drew?
Sammy Ball.
Ball.
Slinging
Ball.
Sammy Ball.
I have him at number 2.
I am at number 1.
I have him at number 2.
He's also my number 3.
Okay. Sammy's going on the
He's
list.
unanimous?
He's on the list.
Oh, we always do this.
Well, Drew, what you got?
6-time Pro Bowl, 4-time All-Pro, 2-time NFL champ. He's on the All-40s team. He has 21,886 yards, 187 touchdowns, but 203 interceptions.
You can tell he's an old guy when that comes up.
But he also played defensive back, and he has
Yeah.
31 interceptions, and he had 11 in one season.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's what I saw. That was like, wow.
He punted too. He was a really good punter. I believe he punted and had an average of like 45 yards per punt for his career.
That's what actually put him on my list because I was actually looking at all the quarterbacks. I was looking at Theismann and Jurgensen and Ball, but I was like, dude, Ball played 3 ways.
Yeah.
Like, and he at least played. Obviously, you don't know how great of a punter somebody is, but like he was a legit defensive back. He
Right.
wasn't just like some guy that lined up over there.
Yeah, to get
You know.
11 interceptions in a season, you got to be legit.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it 2 because, we've been down this road a few times. Old ass dude, played everywhere. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
One of the first people to do a lot of different stuff. He was the first really great Redskins player, Commanders, whatever. And
Not just do a bunch of different stuff, but be good at it.
He was like, everything I read pretty much said that he was the forward pass guy.
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy that brought the forward pass into football, really.
Yeah. And compared to some of the other guys we've talked about, he had was it 20 more interceptions and touchdowns?
Yeah.
That's not as bad as some other guys.
No.
I've seen some worse.
Yeah.
Like Joe Namath, wasn't he like 40 more or something like that?
Yeah,
Or
I think
50 more?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah.
And he still had almost 22,000 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Playing
yeah.
in the 40s.
He has some completion percentages that kind of blew me out of the water as well. Like they were rather impressive.
He had a season where he completed 70% of his passes.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
that's like Drew Brees shit.
That's impressive.
That's
especially
good.
Back then.
Yeah, that was.
He led the NFL in completion percentage 8 times.
So
that's yeah.
He led the league
Oh,
in
that's
passing
good.
yards 4 times and in touchdowns twice. Dude was just revolutionary.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was good.
Like, yeah, we're making fun of this guy because of the amount of interceptions he threw, but he was leading the league in completion percentage half his career or more.
Yeah.
How many years did he play?
Same amount.
Where am I not seeing it?
You lose track of his page or something.
No, it's just he's so old it doesn't list how many years.
He played 16 years, and 8 of which he led the league in completion percentage.
Pretty good.
He also played his entire career in Washington.
Some of the lists I was looking at also had Sonny Jurgensen on them.
Mm-hmm.
Another, not as old as this guy, but an older guy that did some things. But he apparently split time in other places. I think he played in Philadelphia actually.
Mm-hmm, he
Eagles.
did.
Yeah. Yeah, he had like 32,000 yards. And again, about a 57% completion, 250 some touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then their all-time leading passer is Theismann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his career got short.
You think?
A crazy guy on the Giants.
Who was scared after he did the play.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the first Super Bowl winning African American quarterback a Redskins quarterback, Doug Williams?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I
that's
really liked Doug Williams. I remember watching him play. Well, he came out of Grambling, and played for the Buccaneers first. And back then, I liked the Bucs. And
Mom always talks about how one of her favorite players growing up was Doug Williams.
yeah,
So
'cause she was a Bucs fan.
yeah. So
And
that's
yeah,
one thing.
Doug Williams was good. He was fun to watch. Just a good quarterback. Seemed like a nice guy.
yeah.
Well, guys, I'm out of guys. I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm out of
I
guys.
believe I'm out. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have any left either.
I have one left.
All right.
Oh, who you
Okay.
got?
So you got to throw this guy out, and I had kind of forgotten about him until I started doing my research. But it's Chris Hamburger.
Yep, he was in my consideration.
Yeah, he actually 9 Pro Bowls, 5-time All-Pro. I don't have tackles. Linebacker. He had 19 interceptions, 45.5 sacks, and showed up on a couple of the lists that I saw. And always kind of, I got to think about it. I remember him, and remember him always back then. The Cardinals were in the NFC East with the Cowboys and the Giants, and we always got the Cardinal games on TV living around here. And I just remember seeing him all the time busting on the Cardinals. And so, yeah, I put him on my list.
How long
Well-
ago did he play?
He came in 65 and
Yeah.
played till 78.
Hmm.
Here's my thing. He played linebacker at 218.
Yeah.
I mean, shit was weird back then. Like we talked about, remember Lambert was below 200.
Yeah.
Like, that's
So
just
does
how
your
it
side
was.
have any tackles on it?
Mm-mm.
No.
I couldn't find any tackles either.
No, it says he has 19 career interceptions, 5 touchdowns. It says he had 45.5 sacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got nothing for tackles.
That's so hard when you're talking defensive guys,
Oh,
and we can't get tackle numbers.
yeah, definitely. I also have no forced fumbles.
Yeah.
It's blank.
So, anyway, I thought he was worth discussing. Bring him up.
All right. Well, that leaves us with 7 guys. So not a ridiculous amount.
Well, before we start discussing players, I have an honorable mention. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but we have to talk about the Hogs. We couldn't just put one of them on there, but I at least want to talk about the Hogs.
They won
Yeah.
3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks and 3 different running backs, but the Hogs remained.
Yeah.
They were the Redskins, really,
Yeah.
in all
I
reality.
mean, we can't just pick one of them on there, so I just wanted to talk about them. Like, I had at least mention them.
Yeah, and I mean they were the epitome of offensive linemen.
Yes.
They were something else. See, what was it? Russ Grimm. He was one of them. Which that's a
Yeah.
pretty good name for a lineman, Grimm.
Mhm.
I can't remember the other guys' names though.
Well, they were so famous as a unit. It's
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
things where like they weren't really like
Individually, they weren't.
yeah,
They're
Like-
just known as the Hogs.
yeah, like that's what they're always called.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're the Hogs. I mean, you're our best bet to figure out the names, Uncle Doug. I don't think
I
any of
remember
us
Russ
really-
Grimm. I can kind of see that there was a big guy with a mustache. I think he played tackle.
Are you looking
Can't
it
think
up,
of his
Alex?
name.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
Okay.
They've got their own.
Believe it or not, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would just come right up. Well, this is a Redskins website, but it's the history of the greatest offensive line ever.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Oh,
We can get their name. Okay, here we go. We have. Well, one of them just says
This is probably their
Jacoby. It doesn't say.
Oh yeah, that's the big guy I was thinking about.
It doesn't say another name. It just has one name for him.
I can't think of what his first
Joe Jacoby.
Joe. There we go. Joe Jacoby.
Yeah, it's over here. But it's over here on the side, like the picture of him. George Stark, Russ Grimm,
Yeah.
Mark May, and Jeff Bostic.
Okay. Yeah.
He was drafted in 1971, but was cut 2 weeks into training camp, and went and tried out for the Kansas City Chiefs, and was also cut. But in '72, he was cut 6 weeks into Dallas's training camp. Fortunately, Washington asked him to return and try again, and he made the team on the taxi squad, which today was the practice squad, but managed to play his way into the starting right tackle by 1973. He's 10 years older than the rest of the Hogs.
Wow.
He was already a team captain by the time the rest of them showed up. Bostic was signed as a long snapper in 1980 after being cut by the Eagles. He played center and guard at Clemson. And by the time of his second season, he earned the starting center job. Yeah, didn't really say a whole lot there. May, a first-round pick. May Day arrived with a lot of hype. He was Pitt's first ever Outland Trophy winner. I don't know what the Outland Trophy is.
Best offensive lineman. So.
He'd not allowed a sack in his junior or senior season. But he was actually benched early on before moving to his eventual home at right guard. Grimm, or better known as the Grim Reaper, was also highly regarded. Washington gave up their first-round draft choice in 1982 to be able to select him in the third in 1981. And Jacoby, the final piece of the puzzle, the biggest piece, joined the Redskins the same famed 1981 training camp. The giant rookie free agent from Louisville named Joe Jacoby walked into Coach Gibbs' office looking for a job. Figuring Jacoby was a defensive tackle because of his massive size, 6'7", 305, Gibbs told Joe that he'd give him a chance. He would eventually find out that Gibbs was upset with Bugle for not telling him that Big Jake was an offensive tackle because Washington had such a glut of offensive linemen at the camp that year, 18 of them. Obviously, in this instance, he was right. And then he talked to Jacoby as a senior and put on some weight, blah, blah. Yep. So, there you go. There's the Hogs.
Interesting.
All right, so we have 7 guys, 2 of which are already on. Art Monk and Sammy So I will go ahead and get rid of them. So we have 5 guys for 2 spots.
Yep.
London Fletcher, John Riggins, Dexter Manley, Darrell Green, and Chris Hamburger.
I feel like Darrell Green should go on. Just starting off right there with that one.
Well, personally, I think we put Green and Riggins on. This is over. But,
That's my list.
Oh, boy.
But I mean, let's start with Darrell. That was the one I feel like needs to be on. He was my number 1. So
He's my number 1.
He's my number 1.
My number 4.
Ray can Darrell.
Ray.
Well, while you guys are thinking about that, I will give up Hamburger.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
I just kind of wanted to talk about him. He was in the consideration there, but he's not nearly as well known once you get past that time period. So I'm good with that.
Ray, what are you thinking, buddy?
Let's see. What are we down to? 1, 2, 3, 4.
We have 4 guys left.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'll make a deal with Drew over there. You take Fletcher off. I'll take Riggins off. We call it a clean sweep.
Why would we take Riggins off?
Or Manley. I take Manley off. You take Fletcher off. We call it clean sweep.
that's up to you.
Why am I the only one that has to give something up and the other 3 of you?
I already gave up.
Dad did.
Well, Riggins has a bunch of votes. So.
Yeah. Fletcher has 1.
Ooh,
Dexter Manley also has 1.
Oh, that's funny. Didn't see this going this way.
Me neither.
That was
They're both
a
good
smooth
players.
move
I
there,
like
Ray.
both of them.
Yeah.
I especially liked London when he played for the Rams.
So he was there for the Super Bowl and the fastest show on turf?
He was. That defense was kind of like the no-name defense. I mean, you didn't really have a lot of names that everybody knew, but they could play. DeMarco Farr, who you've met, was on that defense, and London Fletcher, and Mike Jones that made the tackle in the Super Bowl. Actually, I believe was a running back for Mizzou when he was in college. Converted to linebacker after he got in the pros. Probably the highest draft pick on that defense is probably Todd Light, cornerback. So, but they could play.
I don't want.
Well, Drew, what's holding you back? Just dish it out to us.
Yes, let's hear your concerns about keeping London Fletcher.
I mean, Ray made a pretty good point. Dexter's got 1 vote. Hamburger had 1 vote. Fletcher had 1 vote. I give up my guy. He's willing to give up his. He's asking you to be willing to give up his.
Yeah. We're all cornering Drew right now with London.
I mean, at this point, we're doing a recount for presidential election. It makes no sense.
I guess I'll be all right with giving up with
And we're down
London.
to our 4.
I mean, unless you have a feeling, Drew, then we can keep him on there.
I mean, he is the second all-time leading tackler.
But it wasn't all with the Redskins.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and it's only second because they've only been recording it for like 15 minutes.
All right.
But over 2,000 tackles is super impressive. I'm not trying to downplay
No.
2,000 tackles at all.
So was that a deal? Is that what I heard?
Yes, I make a deal with Ray.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
We got our list, Alberto.
We got our
That's what that
list.
means.
So the 4 are as follows. Quarterback Sammy Ball. Wide receiver Art Monk. Cornerback Darrell Green. And running back John Riggins. So I feel like we did a pretty good list.
I think so.
We got 3 offensive guys and a defensive guy. We got pretty spread out as far as decades go.
Yeah, they all got Super Bowls.
Yeah, they all got Super Bowls. So I mean, I feel like the Redskins, who, by the way, I think somebody young, especially like Drew, but even the 3 of us, we haven't seen a lot of it. But the Redskins have been a really successful franchise.
They just haven't lately.
Yeah,
No.
That's
Right.
the big thing.
yeah.
Because they've got
Yeah.
3 Super Bowls quite a while ago. They've also got a couple NFL titles before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because
So-
Sammy Ball has multiple titles.
Right, yeah, he's got a couple.
And
So.
they've got multiple Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots of Hall of Famers.
So
Yeah. All right. Well, that will end our Redskins football team commanders portion of this episode and move us into trivia. Drew, would you be ready?
yep. What year did the penalty?
Hold on 1 second. We got a researcher over there in orange shirt.
Oh, I also need a marker.
All right.
Sorry, I was trying to prepare my question.
No, you're
Thanks, Ray.
fine.
I just didn't want you to miss out on any more points.
Yeah, we're all appreciative of that, Ray.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. What were you saying, Drew?
All right. What year did the penalty holding go from 15 yards to 10 yards?
Oh,
I
I have no idea.
Question.
Well, what year did it start?
You mean what year was there holding?
Yeah, well, was there always holding, or was that like
It was a penalty
After the
before it
60s.
changed. It was just a 15-yard penalty instead of 10. And they changed it this year. I'm asking for the year they changed it.
No, I got to guess. I just wrote a year down.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Everybody?
I don't know.
yeah?
All right. I put 73.
Okay.
I just put 2016.
I said 71.
All right.
I said 75.
It's 75.
Oh, yes, the cards are in my favor this week.
All that research at the island or what?
No, I took a vacation from the island to the other island.
Take a vacation with that blonde bitch that gets walking around the island.
Well, she turned me down. It was another one.
Who would like to go next?
All right, I got mine pulled up. All right. There are 3 players in NFL history to have at least 4 career sacks in the Super Bowl. Who are they?
You said 3 of them?
There are 3.
That have what?
4 sacks in one Super Bowl or 4 sacks in any
For their career.
For their career.
How many times
Okay.
as they got there, doesn't matter, for the entire career.
Gotcha.
Well, just all of them have been there more than once.
Mm.
All right. I got my guesses, and they're not terrible.
Yeah, I got 3.
I'm not there yet. I got 2. I'm thinking still.
Can't think of any of them.
All right. I got mine.
Ray, do you have yours?
You can go ahead. I drawing blanks.
Okay.
All right. I said Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith, and Von Miller.
Okay.
I said Joe Green, Aaron Donald, and Haley.
Okay.
I said LT, Bruce Smith, and Aaron Donald.
Well, you each got 1. It is Von Miller, Charles Haley, and Justin Tuck from the Giants.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So it was. Say that again. Say the 3 again.
Von Miller,
Mm-hmm.
Charles Haley, and Justin Tuck.
I mean, I felt good about my Joe Green guys. He was there all the time.
Well, I felt good about Bruce Smith.
I did too. I thought Bruce Smith. I thought, man, Aaron
That
Donald.
is
just
true.
had a
Yeah, Bruce
couple.
Smith went to 4 in a row. You'd think he would have gotten 4 sacks.
And 1
Yeah.
sack at Super Bowl. I mean, from the
Yeah.
all-time sack leader.
Reggie White's got 3.
Although, I will say this. Von Miller came to my mind right off the bat. And then when Wade said he went to multiple, I took him off. And then I forgot he was just there with the Rams.
The Rams, yeah.
Yeah. it's-
Aaron Donald has 2 in 2 games. Yeah. Dwight
Okay.
Freeney's on the list with multiple.
All right. Well, who would like to go next?
See, I can go.
Okay.
Thinking back to the Redskins, who was their first 1,000-yard rusher?
No idea.
Trying trying to think of old Redskin running backs.
Don't know any.
Yeah.
All right, I got my guess.
I gotta guess.
This is the only old guy I can think of. I think.
You got a guess there, Ray?
Yeah.
All right. I said Riggins.
I said Riggins.
I said Larry Brown.
Riggins.
Drew's correct. It's Larry Brown.
I didn't think it'd be Reagan. That'd be too obvious.
Well, that's the only running back I could name. I didn't.
Yeah.
I vaguely remembered Larry Brown when I saw it, so that'd be a good question.
I saw him when I was doing research for him. When I was looking at, like, when I went on Bleacher Report, they list 50 guys, and I saw.
I've seen some of those lists.
Yeah. They, like, I have to scroll through it, and like mid scroll, I saw Larry Brown, the running back.
That would be Drew passing Uncle Doug.
I know. On my question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what? Leave Ray and I?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Who is the only team Mike Tomlin has not beaten? And this is excluding the Steelers.
So what team other than the Steelers has he not beaten?
Right.
That's a good question, Ray.
Defense.
All right, I got a guess.
I have a guess.
Yeah, I got to guess.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
I put the Eagles.
But the Saints.
Seahawks.
I said the Panthers.
And Drew gets it again with the Saints. He is 0-3.
Let's go.
0-3 against the Saints.
Drew.
Well, Drew gets Ray again, huh?
I had to get him back since he got me earlier tonight.
Yeah. Trading blows in this title boxing match here.
All right. What were the Washington Redskins, Commanders, whatever they are now, originally called? I'm looking for city and name.
Oh, that's a good
boy.
question.
This should be interesting. What?
A lot of quiet.
Yeah.
I thought in research people might have come across this. I'm glad that not everybody went straight to their boards like the last 2 weeks when I asked the
didn't
question.
look the old stuff up this time.
I didn't really do any research this week.
Wow.
This is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got a crazy guess.
All right, is that everybody?
One second. No, wait.
By the way, did you guys see that the Patriots and Panthers have had a brawl two back-to-back days now?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
Going at it.
Well, yesterday, Mac Jones threw like a deep pass for a touchdown, and a Patriots beat writer said that Mac Jones walked up to, I can't remember his first name, is it Brian Burns?
The defensive end?
The defensive end.
Yeah.
And said, hold my nuts, bitch. And Burns pushed him over, and then, of course, the offensive lineman jumped on him, and then it turned into this big old brawl. But Burns said after practice that Mac Jones did not say that to him. So I don't know.
I feel like Mac Jones isn't like that.
I mean, he doesn't come across that way, but
Right, he doesn't
I don't
come
know.
across that way.
He's very like soft spoken and like I don't know.
Yeah, how would he come up to you? Hey, you better get off me, bitch.
No, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Hold my nuts, bitch. Is kind of funny.
Yeah,
Like-
That's funny.
like-
But why would you say it to the biggest badass on the other team?
Right, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Like he's their best player,
The guy
the
that's
defensive end.
the guy that tries to kill you every play.
Yeah.
Why not say it to like one of the cornerbacks?
Yeah, the guy that you just burned for a touchdown. I don't know.
But then today, Christian McCaffrey did a run play, and there was like a borderline hit, like whether he was out of bounds or not out of bounds. Well, it pissed McCaffrey off, so he turned around and threw the ball at the guy that hit him, and then fight again.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't get hurt on the play.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's
Christ.
probably why he was pissed off. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm struggling to stay healthy. Don't hit me out of bounds.
I've missed 22 games in 2 years. Get out of here.
I feel like this preseason's turned into like Fight Club. I haven't heard of so many fights in my life.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so does everybody have an answer now?
Yeah.
That's
All
something
right, what we
down.
got?
Put the Baltimore Tribe.
The Washington Nationals.
I said the Portsmouth Barons.
Oh, my.
Not available.
Well, the correct answer is the Boston Braves.
Oh, okay.
So did that mean that I don't know when the Redskins were the Boston Braves, but did that mean that the football team and the baseball team in Boston were both the Braves at the same time?
I don't know.
Because the Braves were originally in Boston, like the baseball team, the Braves.
Right.
So I don't know. That was
Who
an
knows?
interesting one, I thought. All right, well, that wraps up trivia, and the tallies are as follows. Wade in first place with 16. Drew in second place with 14, cutting into Wade's lead with a 2-point day. Is that right, Drew?
Yep, 2 points.
Uncle Doug in third with 12 after he was passed by Drew today.
Good job, Drew.
And then Alex and the guests are tied at 5. And Ray with a point today to bring him within 1, so at 4 points.
Is that going to be like a normal thing where you just throw the guests in there just to smite me?
Well, I mean, we started keeping tallies on them, so I figured I would say it. I mean,
Okay.
I insulted myself too. I didn't I didn't just get you, Ray.
Well, I mean, you're at least with the guests. I am in the shit tunnel. But that's okay. That's all right.
You'll pass them eventually,
Hopefully.
unless somebody has like a biggie week and gets multiple right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you tuning in for this Redskins episode, and we appreciate you tuning in next week for what I believe is the Cowboys. I think that's what we decided. It's the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.